Triad Wars is the flip side of Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs was all about the story of Wei Shen and taking you on a ride along that story and finding out what was going to happen to Wei Shen. Triad Wars is the other side of that, which is it's all about Hong Kong and it's all about the criminal underworld within Hong Kong. And this is about you creating your own game.
Triad Wars is an open world action strategy game. It's an online game, it's a PC title, it's a game that's going to change and evolve over time as people play it. It's really a kind of unique experience.
It's all about being a triad gangster who's fighting his way to the top. It's about going out, raiding real rivals, taking their stuff. It's about building up your empire.
We had built this whole world with this simulation of Hong Kong, and we built this great action mechanics. We've got great driving, great shooting, great running, great fighting, and we sort of thought, what can we do with this now?
This was really a chance to explore Hong Kong, and again, the triads and how that fit together.
In this game, you play an enforcer running a gang in the Hong Kong triads, and you build up your gang and your turf, and you build basically a criminal empire.
It's about ownership. It's about, I get to go into this place, build something up and own a piece of it, build it up, protect it, go and raid other people's turf, take things from them. So you get to immerse yourself into that Hong Kong gangster world.
Your turf is interesting because it's really an extension of the player's personality. The types of rackets that you choose to run, whether you choose to focus on counterfeiting goods and counterfeiting currency, smuggle in things, it'll change the way that you approach your game day to day.
It's an open world game. In those kinds of games, you don't actually see this level of combat. You can do whatever you want to do in order to defeat those guys.
This game doesn't tell a linear story where every player is going to have the same experience. When you play this, you have a different experience from everyone else who plays it.
To get to the top in Triad Wars, you gotta be strong and you gotta be smart. That means you gotta go out, you gotta raid real people, you have to make smart decisions to get the most out of that so that you can rise to the top. In Triad Wars, the community is everything. In some ways, Triad Wars is even a response to things that people have been telling us they want. We want you to help us make this game. We want to know what you want to see. What do you love? What do you hate?
We take that to heart a lot here. I mean, as a team, this is something that's really close to all of us. You know, we're kind of pouring our hearts into these games, and now to be able to have the conversation with the community and build it into something that we both want, that's pretty exciting.
This thing's a living, breathing thing, and this thing's just going to keep evolving, and you know, I'm excited to figure out what it's going to be in 2 years. It could be a completely different game, and that's really exciting.
It's not an uneven playing field. It's a game where anyone can have fun and be competitive.
When we set out to build Triad Wars, we set out to build a fun game. And that's really all that matters.
Hong Kong is a city that you just can't help but fall in love with. The grit, the unique character. We feel like there's a lot of room to give you new experiences, to push players in new ways.
We all love games, we talk about games, we play games, so for us it's a lifestyle. Like, I love this.
Triad Wars is a pure sandbox where you get to choose what to do. It's going to be really interesting to see how players choose to use those features, how to use those tools, and the types of experiences that are going to come out of that.
We're really excited to be given the chance to actually produce more in that world, to push the boundaries of it, to give you new experiences and new characters, really deliver something fresh and new set in that world. I think is an amazing opportunity.
People like two things about Sleeping Dogs. They really love the cop aspect, or they really love the crime aspect. So we made this one for the criminals.
Hello, good morning and welcome to this week's Triad Wars Twitch stream. I'm your host Andrew Collins, I'm the community manager for Triad Wars, and gentlemen, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Raoul. I'm one of the technical designers in the project. I'm in charge of a lot of the gameplay systems in the game.
Hey, I'm Steve, design director on Triad Wars. Apologize for my voice today. I'm still getting over a cold, so if you guys have trouble hearing me, apologize ahead of time.
It's not that you have been shouting at the team though?
No, I haven't been shouting or drinking heavily.
Not yet.
It's just rainy and cold here.
Yeah, well it is winter in Vancouver. Yeah. So we've got an interesting show for you today. What we thought we'd do is we're going to take you through kind of what everybody who's in the second closed beta, we're going to give you a look at that. So what we've got here is kind of what we call the, what you guys would call a tutorial, we call it the first time player experience. Tutorial is way better because it's much quicker. So Raul, before we answer some questions, we're just going to start show off a bit of the gameplay. So
yeah, so one of the things we're going to be doing here is just choosing our enforcer and what triad we belong to.
Yeah, so you can see Raul's cycling through a couple of different triads. That's one of the first things you need to do in Triad Wars is associate yourself with one of the triads. Yourself and your gang with one of the triads that is. So we've got 3 to choose from here: 18K, Sun On Yi, and Xing Wo. So what are you going to choose, Raul?
I think I'm going 18K.
So why did you choose these guys?
We like what they look like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so each one has that's actually a good point. Each one has a different visual style. The guys that, the 18K that Raul just chose, they're more of like a dock worker, everyman kind of a look. The Sun On Yi, they have more of that Water Street gang. They'll nod to the Winston and his crew from SD. And then the Xing Wo have more of a refined, slick look. They've got you know, the flashy suits and the bling. So
right.
Also,
so,
these guys are tied to the counterfeiting
and
business.
There's a question actually just come up there by Antinan, and he said, will you be able to name your own triads?
So, yeah, we've got some plans to eventually expand out and have additional triads that you will create, and then you'll be able to name those. But the starting triads that you affiliate yourself with are established already.
All right, so I'm going to pick this guy.
Yeah, so Raul's cycled through, he's chosen what he wants his enforcer to look like, and now he's going to set his name.
All right, well, picking that name.
He's going to go with, all right.
So if you notice any weird things behind us, that's probably just part of the game UI. So
yeah, unfortunately, we are obstructing some part of the game. We'll try to.
If it gets to be important, we'll kind of push Raul out of the way. So.
Yeah.
So the tutorial starts with a bit of cutscenes to kind of set the scene for you.
Yeah, we're still working on a lot of this stuff, so kind of jumping ahead a bit. But right now, Raul has he's sitting in his boat with Uncle David Chang. It's his enforcer's uncle, and he's got a big plans to rise up through the Triad, through the 18K, and become Dragonhead. And this is step number 1 on that journey. Is to target Jumbo, who we've got a little bit of a history with. A little bit back and forth raiding action has happened in the past, and we've decided to attack one of his operations. So we're going out into the dry dock, and we're going to take out his operation in the dry dock as a first step to weakening Jumbo, so that we can then draw the cops' attention and raid him.
So when obviously we're doing a lot of close combat fighting at the moment. When you guys were designing all the fighting, what type of influences did you look for this?
So a lot of the moves that the enforcers use are similar to the moves that were used in Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah.
There's lots of different martial arts styles in there. We didn't focus on any one style. But there's a bit of a mix compared to what you played through in Sleeping Dogs. There's some new moves, there's some mixed moves, combos have been switched up. And we've got some plans to be able to customize those down the road as well.
Okay, great. So there's one of the guys, Jack Sony, actually asked something very similar. He says, will we be able to learn new fighting styles, or does everybody have the same style?
Yeah, so you can see as Raul's been defeating enemies, he's getting rewarded XP for every kill. And eventually that's going to, you can see that's also filling up the bar in the top corner of the screen there.
Yeah.
Once he does fill that up, he's going to level up his XP.
Yeah.
And that's going to allow him to do a couple of things. It's going to allow him to upgrade his enforcer or his gang with different perks, buffs, and abilities. And then he's also going to unlock additional skills. And those skills are the same for all players, but the upgrades you choose to select that you spend your XP on, those are obviously not. So you do get to kind of define what you want. So you can see he just leveled up.
Okay, and so this is the upgrade screen that we're looking at here.
Yeah, we've gone to the upgrade screen. Raul's just gotten to XP level 1, and he's unlocked 1 upgrade point. He can choose to invest that point into his Enforcer or his Gang. At this point in the game, it makes more sense to upgrade into his Enforcer. So he's going to choose between one of these upgrades. There's quite a few different categories, and each one can be upgraded multiple times. So what are you going to choose, Raul?
So this on Fist, how about that? I want to punch faster.
Yeah. So Raul's chosen Swiftness of Fist, which is going to increase the speed of his strikes.
All right.
And so you said there's an option to upgrade the gangs as well. How would that, as a quick summary of how does that work?
Yeah, so within the upgrade screen that we just saw, you can choose to upgrade your abilities like your health, your speed, the attack damage you do for different strikes and grapples. You can choose to upgrade your speed, your accuracy, your lethality with different weapons, so bladed weapons, blunt weapons, shotguns versus pistols. And you basically need to specialize down into each one of those and decide how you're going to tailor both your Enforcer and your Gang's.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there because I'm going to give myself a yellow card. I've made a terrible mistake, and unfortunately I've not introduced Sam. So Sam, Sam is sat off camera, and she's kind of the backbone of our meeting.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, sorry, Sam.
It's alright.
Right.
Yeah.
So the screen that Raul was just on was the XP level unlock, and you see he's unlocked 1 move now, which is the flying tackle. So what he couldn't do before, or he can do now, is actually run and tackle guys to the ground during combat.
Let's try this now.
There we go. Nice. What's that thing next to him?
Okay. It's table saw. It always gets me.
Yeah.
So we still got all the great combat props from Sleeping Dogs, and there's some new ones as well. I didn't see if you used the drill there at all.
Well,
you see that guy's got
there it is,
drill
it's stuck in his head.
Yeah. So some new stuff. So
right.
Raul's defeated the operation successfully. He got $2,400 as a reward, and more importantly, this operation has given him extra time to raid Jumbo. So now if he does go raid Jumbo, he's going to draw the cops' attention, and he's going to be able to go get additional time during the raid.
Okay.
Perfect. Now let's go for Uncle.
Poor guy's in a spot of bother with that.
Yeah, that seems to be the normal thing with Uncle David. He's got big dreams, big hopes, but he hasn't been able to turn them into much in the last over the years. And that's what you're here for.
That's what we're here for.
A quick message to Antinon. Yes, you do get a beta key for that. So thanks for the question and keep them coming.
All right.
What are we doing now then?
So Raul's on the map screen here, and you can see he's got Jumbo is over on the east side on the waterfront, and he's going to target Jumbo's turf because now he's ready to raid him since he's already defeated his operation.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
So how big is, one of the questions we get a lot is, how large is the actual game world?
So for once we what we're playing in the beta right now, we have North Point available.
Yeah.
If you played Sleeping Dogs before that, it's a big part of the map. It's about a little less than a third of the map.
Okay.
But there are 3 more additional districts that we've got locked away that we plan to open up in the future.
Okay. So there were places like Aberdeen and places like
Aberdeen and Central, and those areas are going to open up. There's going to be additional turf locations there, additional open world content, obviously, and a couple other ideas we've got.
Okay,
now we're getting ambushed here.
Yeah, so on the way to raid Jumbo, Jumbo's gang has ambushed Raul and trying to stop him before he can get there. So if Raul is able to defeat him, he's going to earn some face.
Right.
And be able to move a small step up the ladder within the Triad and get that much closer to moving to the next rank.
So, yeah, so in the latest blog we did kind of introduce the idea of face and XP. So face is kind of how you use as a progression through the gangs, through the triads.
Yeah, so everything you do really impacts your face. Your face represents your standing within your triad.
Yeah.
And so as you do things that benefit your gang and your triad and give you more recognition, your face will increase, and you'll move through the different ranks of the triad until ultimately you reach the dragon head position, and you are actually leading the entire triad.
I think you're definitely impacting on these guys' face.
Yeah.
Right in the face.
So far, it's doing pretty good.
Through the back.
So you can see Raul also leveled up a second time there. I believe he got a stun combo, which he'll be able to use. Right now he's in the car shooting, so he can't use it right now. But you can always go back later and check out what he's unlocked, and it's available to him from this point on.
Now, taking out the cops and the ambush. Obviously, the Hong Kong police taking notice.
So, when you take out the cops, what does that do to your... Does that have face rewards or face penalties?
No. It's basically an opportunity cost if you get arrested.
Oh, okay.
If you get arrested, you lose face.
Yeah. It's really about staying away from the cops, because if you die, if Raul were to die there, he would lose face because Jumbo defeated him in the ambush, and Jumbo would actually be the one gaining face. In this case, he didn't win, so he got some additional face.
So does the amount of face that you can earn ever have a limit, or does it just keep going?
No, it keeps going. Yeah.
Okay. So even if you made it to all the way up to the top, it just keeps building and building. And
correct.
building.
Yeah.
Let's figure out who's the best in the world, right?
So here we're getting a fly-through of Jumbo's turf. He's got 3 rackets that we're interested in hitting. And if he can get through that, he'll be facing Jumbo inside of his safe house, one-on-one, or depending on how many gang members he has in his penthouse. And that's really the ultimate goal here. That's what you get rewarded the most face, and the most commodities and cash that we get from the ring.
So at the moment, we've not seen any gunplay. We're all
well, aside from the ambush, it's when you're raiding, there's in this case, because it's the tutorial flow, you're gonna see things in a particular order. But during a normal raid, you would get a randomized chance for every encounter you fight inside of a raid. So you kind of always have to be prepared for both hand-to-hand and gunplay. You need to make sure that you balance out how much. Don't waste out your ammo before you might find yourself in a situation where you really need it.
And so you definitely don't want to start a raid without doing a decent loadout with weapons.
Correct, yeah.
That would be
if you
a
followed us on our last Twitch,
that never happened.
Twice.
Never happened.
Yeah, the number of times we tested that, do not do that again.
Alright, let's get this guy.
Okay, so now, talk about what you were saying. Now we've got the big guns.
Ooh.
Yep, so Raul, these guys were all waiting in wait with covered with weapons. So Raul's got his submachine gun, and he's working through the area. Uncle David is helping him out as well.
Yeah, shooting at me, come on.
Well, you did let him get his arm broken. Yeah, he's got to have a bit of annoyance about that.
Right, here we go.
So one of the questions that's coming from the stream, iTurkish Warrior says, does the game have a single player mode? Maybe you can talk about kind of the nature of the gameplay.
Yeah, so there's no single player mode. You're always playing multiplayer online. However, you are playing within your own instance of the game. So it's as if you were playing single player in some ways.
Right.
You're playing against the AI of other players. So you're playing against the types of weapons they've unlocked, the types of enemies that they've unlocked, the types of upgrades they've put into their gang. You're playing against their turf layouts as they've defined them, depending on which rackets they've put into their turf, what they've upgraded and what they haven't. And that's what you're up against. But you're not in a synchronous head-to-head.
Yeah, they don't know they're being punched.
Yeah.
But you're essentially playing against their personality and all their game decisions.
Correct. So Raul could actually, while he's playing this, he could actually be getting raided as well. So the defense is really about what you upgrade into your defense of your gang and how you set up your turf ahead of time. And then making sure that Raul's always logging in and managing his turf actively to make sure he's got as little at risk as possible inside of his turf.
Yeah. So basically, when we were looking at the upgrade screen before, upgrading your enforcer is kind of, you're upgrading your offensive abilities. but upgrading your gang is your defensive.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way to think about it. Is that Enforcer is obviously going to be, you're going to upgrade your Enforcer because you're going to have that impact immediately when you're playing and you're attacking others. But if you neglect your gang entirely, then it's likely that when people raid you, you're going to end up taking a lot of losses. So you need to invest into both sides of the upgrades.
So kind of linked up with that, across various social channels, we had a lot of questions about the customization. So Facebook, we had Abdullah Nar asked a few questions, and we've got Civic123. He's going to say, let's talk a little bit about the actual visual customization as well that you can do.
Yeah, so you notice at the beginning when Raul affiliated his gang with the Triad, that changed the look of his gang and his Enforcer. So now when his gang will always look like that for now. And his Enforcer, he's able to customize. So what we're thinking, or what we've got right now, is you could obviously change anything about the look of your Enforcer. You can change his tattoos, you can change his clothing, you can change his head and his hairstyle, things like that. Obviously, the choices you make within your racket and what you unlock as far as weapons is also things that will show up when other players are raiding you. So you're going to see that as a customization. You're also going to be able to purchase vehicles in the game, and those vehicles are going to show up throughout the world. Your gang members are going to use them. You're obviously going to be able to use them, and you have choices of customizing vehicles. And then we have some ideas in the future to be able to customize your turf and your safe house later on, but we don't have that right now.
Okay. So another one that's a popular question, we've got, it looks like we've got Hong Kong Mode 2 asks us about, are there going to be groups of gangs, so like co-ops?
Sorry, can you answer that again? I was following Raul taking out Jumbo here, and I thought I got distracted.
Well, this was where he didn't do as well last time, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. We want to make sure that we're successful this time.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you go into a gunfight with a gun. Yeah, so sorry, that question from Hong Kong Mo was, are there going to be groups of gangs that you can join, like essentially co-op players?
So we have plans, and we're working on right now is co-op raids. So you'll be able to team up with friends and be able to raid other players together. The other thing that we're working on is allowing players to create their own triad. So rather than be affiliated with the 18K or the Sun Oni or whoever else you choose at the beginning of the game, you could defect and then start up your own triad with other players.
Okay.
And those are things that we're working on right now.
So what are we looking at here, the screens then?
So Raul just won the raid, so he earned a bunch of face, which is most important here. It's move his progression up the Triad. So you can see right now he's a Thug, which is our lowest level, our lowest rank within the Triad.
Yeah.
And he's also dropped Jumbo down. So Jumbo could potentially lose a rank, and Raul is pretty close. Maybe within another raid or two, he's going to bump up to the next rank within the Triad.
All right, let's keep going.
So, Turkish Warrior, you're asking about, so just to clarify, if you get one of your questions is asked during the stream, you will get a beta key. What the best way to do that is Sam is taking note of everybody's names. I will be sending out beta keys via Twitch PMs this afternoon with instructions of how you get involved. We've still got 2 more days left of the closed beta, so I'll be getting that out to everybody this afternoon. So so long as you ask a question, we'll get in touch and get everything else. So speaking of which, there's another question from DR Footsloops, and he says, or she says, does every kill award 25 XP, or are there other enemies which give you greater XP? And does using certain moving increase the XP that you gain?
So right now, enemies, they reward you standard 25 XP, but you can modify that using your combat meter, which Raul hasn't unlocked yet. So once he reaches a certain XP level, one of the abilities he'll get is the combat meter. There's multiple stages to the combat meter, but the idea is that the more varied and successful that Raul is within combat, the faster the combat meter will grow. And as it grows, it's going to add a multiplier to the XP earned. So in addition to doing that, it's also an activated mechanic. So Raul gets to choose when he wants to earn a multiplier and when he doesn't. But regardless, he has to perform well to have access to that combat meter.
So if I see an encounter with 10 enemies and I'm pretty confident I can take them out, I trigger it and it will be a nice boost.
Yeah. And then in addition to that, we've got some ideas in the pipe for having XP modified by how you take out your enemies. So if you are able to use a successful vault shoot and chain that up, then you could also increase the amount of XP earned with each kill. If you use combat props, put someone's head into a table saw like we saw earlier on, those things will be worth more as well.
And I think you should thank 70MS. He's worried about your health. He said you sound terrible.
Thanks. I'm actually feeling much better.
You should have heard him
last week. At least you can
week.
hear me, yeah.
Yeah, last week we were worried about this stream not even taking place because Steve sounded so bad. So what we do now then, Raul? This is our turf that we're looking at here?
Yeah, so this is our first turf. Our uncle managed to get some land up in Hong Kong to help us start. So this is our safe house. Right now, there's nothing to it, so we're gonna try to upgrade it.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere, so start with a safe house.
Yeah, even the Roman Empire started small.
There you go, exactly. Yeah.
So as you can see here, right now our safe house is really small. So one of the things we want to do is upgrade it so that we can actually have some rackets. So now that we have upgraded this, we're gonna choose one of our rackets. Like I initially picked the 18K who are in counterfeiting, so I think I'm gonna go into that. We have extortion and gambling as well. Yeah, I'm gonna go for counterfeiting. And then I'm gonna, if you can see here, we cannot see.
Small.
Is,
maybe this is just
where I'm gonna place my new racket.
Okay.
So here you go.
So just while you're doing that, quick message, Anti9. Yeah, we enjoy doing these streams. They're good fun. So yeah, we definitely plan to keep them going, especially when we go live with the game.
Yeah.
That'll be great because that's when everybody will be able to stream. We'll be able to share lots more.
And you can always go to our forums as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So while we're doing this, just a quick one. So if you are in the closed beta at the moment, you'll have received an email from me yesterday about the survey. Please, take 5 minutes to answer that survey because we do literally read every single word that's written, and those things. Steve built the survey because he wants to know what you guys are thinking about the game.
Yeah, all that information is super helpful. It changes. We base our decisions off of what you guys tell us. So,
and
we
please send as much stuff as you can, and good, bad, anything. We just need as much info and feedback from you guys as we can get.
Yeah,
we really are paying attention.
And that's an important thing is that often people won't want to say something negative because they may hurt our feelings and yeah, I mean
on the internet, no.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. And but ways around doing that. If you say something sucks, then we can't change it because we don't know why it sucks. But if you explain, say I don't like this feature because of this, then that allows us to go, okay, yeah, maybe it's a good point. Maybe we can look at it. So don't be afraid to tell us if you don't like something.
Yeah.
Just don't throw in too many F-bombs at the same time.
All right.
So what's next then?
All right. Perfect. So Raul's just built his first currency counterfeiting racket. So we've got to get it doing something because right now it's just sitting there idle.
All right. So let's start producing some counterfeit goods here.
Yeah. So now Raul's got a level 1 counterfeiting racket, so he's only able to start producing queue up one unit of production. So that started. Raul can come back and check later on once it's completed and collect what he's produced, which is dirty money in this case.
Let's see. This is our turf.
Nummy TV asks, so we were talking just recently about co-op. He says, what about guilds and clans? What features are they? He said, he's got a huge gaming community. Yeah, definitely we want to. Another thing is that, as the community manager, I'm really keen to help you guys out. So if you have suggestions for how to build your own Triad Wars community, you can always email me at community@triadwars.com and it comes straight to me. But yeah, let's go back to that question. So what guilds and clans features are we looking at the moment?
So Triads is a very big feature for us, something that we're looking towards, which is why we don't have it in yet.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things that it's so big that we don't want to just throw a sample.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and talk for a while about what we would like to do with it, but it's a triad. It's building triads with other players, and obviously a big part of that is being able to strategize with other players and be able to compete against other triads. So I'm not going to go into the details of the kind of things we're thinking about, but needless to say, competition is a big part of joining a triad, and triad elections and the politics that go within trying to step over each other to become dragon head of a triad is a big part of it as well. So
backstab your friends.
Let us know what kinds of things you guys would like to see as well, because obviously this is something that we haven't finished building yet, and we're still working away at. And so this is a perfect opportunity for us to go back and forth on this. So.
Yeah, and a perfect place to give us that feedback is in the forums that we use. Just another point about the forums, if you're part of the closed beta, you will have access to the closed beta forums. What you probably have to do is just log out and then log back in, and you'll see the specific forums right at the very top.
So right here, quickly, I just want to touch on the fact that Raul's just interacted with one of his first contacts. So one of the perks of being the leader of the gang is that you're going to have eyes and ears throughout Hong Kong. And Uncle David's hooked you up with some of his pre-existing contacts. So this contact just hooked you up with your first vehicle.
Yep.
And this is just the first of many things to come through the pipe here. You're going to get different things. You're going to get different shipments of goods for your turf that you can use. You're going to get different vehicles, you get different weapons, different abilities. There's really a whole bunch of things that you can unlock through these favors.
Okay.
And this is just the first one.
All right. So let's just do a couple of questions here then. So forgive me if I get the pronunciation of this wrong. We've got Achihin 1985 says, so let's talk about the map. Is this a new map or is this the Sleeping Dogs map? I guess it's the Hong Kong map.
So it is we started off with the Sleeping Dogs map, but what we did is we altered it. We cut out a bunch of areas of the world, modified them, and added in these new turf locations. And then obviously the turf locations are defined by what other players put in them based on their racket choices. So those areas are all new to Sleeping Dogs,
okay.
But the overall world is still a Sleeping Dogs world.
And
so you can see he's got, Raul's got a really low level counterfeiting racket here. There's a bunch of workers sitting around eating. Dirty money is getting produced, but he doesn't have anybody managing the space yet. So one of the things he's going to eventually need to do is hire a racket boss to manage it for him. And that racket boss is going to become one of his contacts that will feed him different favors and give him different perks.
Okay.
And we're just coming up to another one here, so.
Let's see what he's got.
So there's another fun question. It's LMQ's VCP says, will we have a better choice of hat?
Better choice of hat.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got a bunch of different things that we've got ready for customization. They're not all there in the beta right now if you're playing through the beta, but they will be there soon. And then we obviously expect to keep adding new things. So again, tell us the kinds of things you like, and we haven't built them yet. We will build them in the future.
Well, I mean, Jack Sony asked a question earlier when we were talking about feedback. And, we want to hear people's ideas, don't we?
Yeah.
It's important.
We love to hear people's feedback of how the game is now, but we really want to know people's ideas for building it forward.
Yeah.
This is a game we want to be working on for a long time, and we want your help to make the game that everyone wants.
So Raul just unlocked his first weapon, which is a 9mm pistol. So this time he's going to go through and equip it.
Yeah.
So you can see Raul in his loadout screen, he has a choice to equip up to 3 weapons. So he can hold one melee weapon, one single-handed weapon, and a double-handed weapon. And he can carry those all at the same time and cycle between them during combat. So.
Let's do a kitchen knife and maybe a shotgun over here.
And he's got himself a shotgun. So.
I don't have much choice.
That's handy.
All right.
So there seems to be people shouting out for pork buns. What other type of food are we going to have? We're going to have stuff like congee as well, some good classic stuff.
Oh, I can't remember every type we have. We have a whole bunch of them. Actually, I was just talking to James about this recently. But if it was there in Sleeping Dogs, you'll see it here again. For sure. And you can even hire your own pork bun guys this time.
Oh yeah.
We've got a racket just for you if you like
Yeah.
bossing around with pork bun guy.
Actually, if you look at all those icons there,
That's a good idea for a hat too. Is pork bun vendor.
pork bun
A mask. You can just look like pork
Or
bun.
like those cheese hats. Maybe it's just a pork
A
bun.
pork bun on your head, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so if you see in the map right there, all of those white icons, this is food vendors, so there's quite a few right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of hungry folk. So we're getting some questions about the about 4K resolution. I don't think that's something that we're looking at the moment. We've not really investigated 4K just yet.
Yeah, we'll have to. I actually don't know the
That's the
answer
rendering
there. We're gonna
guys.
have to look into that. Obviously, the game's going to launch with obviously the same specs that we would have had on Sleeping Dogs, but we've improved a bunch of stuff as well. So the visual fidelity is actually going to be higher than what you've previously seen. But we also obviously support a wide range of PCs. So it all depends on what kind of rig you're using.
I do love how many questions we get about pork buns.
Yeah.
As soon as you say pork buns, the whole chat thing lights up.
So right now, Raul's now in the open world. He's got 6 different rivals he can choose to attack, and he needs to.
Oak Heart.
Obviously, what he's trying to do here is he's trying to get more face so that he can rank up, move up to the next rank within his triad.
Yeah.
And he's also trying to earn more money so he can build up his turf, and those things obviously go hand in hand. So.
And as you can see, as I'm targeting different guys, you can see their operations. In this case, this guy's got 2 operations. One cockfighting operation, and another one is repo.
Hey Jack, yes, you'll definitely get a beta key. Sam's already made a notice of that. And just to remind, so everybody who has had a question read out by myself and asked to the guys will be getting a beta key this afternoon. So by the end of the day, you will be able to play Triad Wars. So we're going to give you, so Zeraven89 asks about what's the degree of customization for the cars?
So you're going to be able to, it's going to be start out basic with choosing obviously the vehicles that you want, the specific colors you want. We're going to have customized liveries and decals that you'll be able to apply. You're not going to be able to customize them single, but you'll be able to choose, here's the vehicle and I want it, here's the vehicle I want, and I want this livery on it, and you'll be able to purchase that vehicle.
Okay.
But we have some ideas on how to expand them in the future, but that's what we're focusing on right now.
Yeah. So one Shizzy is asking about the story mode. So kind of let's explain that as an element of how the game works.
Sure. So story is not a focus of Triad Wars, unlike Sleeping Dogs, which was very much about story of Wei Shen. This is really more about you being able to make your way up the Triad hierarchy, and that's really where it ends there. We've got some ideas of how we can tie some interesting things into the future, but right now it's really about your journey as you rank up through the Triad.
Yeah, you shape it, you create your character, you customize it, you decide where you want to go.
So there was a question there. There was a question there following up to that from Taco Hanzo, and he's asking, what about characters from Sleeping Dogs? How does this? Yeah, 2 questions there, I guess. So, will we see characters from Sleeping Dogs, and also where does this fit within the world and the time of Sleeping Dogs?
Yeah, so Triad Wars is a time frame just before the arrival of Wei Shen in Hong Kong, so it's kind of a Wild West before Wei Shen shows up and starts busting the scene up.
Yeah.
So it's right before that. All the characters that you know from Sleeping Dogs would be as you know them from Sleeping Dogs. They wouldn't be 15 years younger or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they will make appearances. We're not going to talk about how they do that just yet.
Don't want to spoil
but you can imagine if your goal in the game is to become Dragonhead. Uncle Po's the Dragonhead of the Sun on You. So at some point, you're going to have to take him out of his position. So we'll see how that plays out.
So another question from Jimmy Lee 8055. So, he talks about the types of rackets. Will there be more racket operations in the future?
Yes. We've got lots and lots and lots of interesting, cool criminal ideas for Hong Kong. But we're starting off with a subset of 12 available to you. And then it's just going to expand from there.
Okay, so another question then from Replicant. He's asking about mobile and web-based app. At the moment, our plans are pretty limited for that while we're just working on the closed beta. but we're going to be looking into that at a later date.
Yeah, obviously you can go to our website, which is obviously friendly on whatever kind of platform you use.
Yeah.
But as far as like a companion app to go along with it, it's something that we have thought about, but we don't have any plans to announce just yet.
Maybe someone out there wants to build one with our cooperation and we can help them out.
Yeah, why not?
That sounds perfect.
All right, so we are here now going to tackle one of Murray Oakhurst's operations. So let's see what we have here.
From the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. All right, so let's...
So Ro's got a pretty simple operation here. Basically take out the enemies of this rival gang.
Yeah.
Different operations. We got a bunch of different operation types to unlock as well. You know, catching guys, defeating, surveillance. Make sure you sneak up on guys and scope out their areas and photograph what's going on. We got some hijack and a bunch of different ideas that we're going to unlock as we go.
So, kind of looking at this operation there, I just imagine that they're all standing around chatting. It'd be funny if you just could throw a grenade into the middle of them and take them out in a second.
Yeah,
so drive a car into them, right?
Yeah. Or maybe we should show another operation when you do that exact same thing.
Absolutely.
So Ro's just upgraded to XP level 4 and he's unlocked a follow-up combo. So maybe after we're done here, we can actually go in and spend some of these upgrade points.
All right. Let's see, I think we're done here. Yeah.
All right, so Raul's completed 1 of 2 operations, and he's got a reward of 3 hot cars as a result. So those are going to show up in his warehouse now if he were to go back to his turf and check out his warehouse, provided obviously that he has enough room in his warehouse to hold 3 cars.
Yeah.
If not, he has to upgrade his warehouse, obviously. But more importantly, he's gotten 50% of his possible raid bonus. So if he were to raid Murray now, he'll get additional time in order to do it.
Okay.
Let's take a look at our upgrades here. So we have 3 more points. Let's see what we have. Well, let's take a look at the gang. Can upgrade our strikers, grapplers, melee weapons, firearms. Let's see. We'll call it max health for the grapplers. And then I'm going back here and increase my melee damage. So just in case, a little bit of health.
There you go.
There we go. Now let's take a look at it.
So this time Raul's actually prepared for his raid.
Let's take a look at that. So we unlocked already stunning blows. Yeah, it's a good one.
Which is a combo to unlock enemies that constantly block and open them up. What else we got? We got an action dismount, so now Raul can also choose to jump out of a moving vehicle and use it as a car bomb by shooting it.
Yeah.
And then the stun follow-up here.
So that would have been perfect in the operation that we just saw.
Yeah, let's try that next.
Yeah, maybe you can try using it now.
So speaking of the cars, actually, we've got a few guys who are asking, and we will give a code away to the 2 guys who are just asking about this, but what about the music in the cars and just the general music in the game?
Yeah, so we still got radio stations, just like we did in Sleeping Dogs. We got different selection than we would have had in Sleeping Dogs, but I can't remember the exact number, but there's a whole bunch of different radio stations and lots of different choices to choose from as you're driving around.
As much Cantonese pop as you could ever.
Oh yeah, there's still a lot of Cantonese pop. Yeah.
One of the questions that was just asked as well is, how is the driving model when you compare it to Sleeping Dogs?
So the vehicles still handle the same. One of the things that we've changed up is kind of their physical attributes. So whether a vehicle is as durable as another, but other than that, everything drives the same as it did in Sleeping Dogs.
Okay.
And then obviously we have plans to add new vehicles down the line, and those we'll see where those fit in.
Yeah. So just to the guys out on the stream, it's scrolling up, so I don't get to see who asked that question about the cars, but just post again that question, and we'll make sure you get a beat to keep. Don't pretend it was you, though. I'll remember when I see it. So what we're doing now, then?
This time we're taking a photograph of the
dealer. So this is a surveillance operation where The Rival has an operation set up for dealing goods from this location. So Raul's going to go out and scope out the area, snap some photos, and gain some intel on his rival.
So when we look at the weapons, we've got things like machetes and tire irons and things like that.
Yeah, obviously, hand-to-hand is a big part of the combat experience, and the melee weapons that go along with that is a big part as well. We've added a couple of new combat moves with knives. You can now pin guys to walls, pin them to the floor, pin them to tables using a knife.
Yeah.
In not the friendliest of manners. I don't mean just putting it through their sleeves.
Right.
But as you saw when Raul used the drill to attach someone's head to a table earlier on.
Yeah.
But we've got all the good stuff from Sleeping Dogs. The machetes is a big one. The cleavers, which is my personal favorite, because Mrs. Chu is always waving them around. And then we've got all the ranged weapons that you saw in Sleeping Dogs as well, with some additional models to spice it up.
Okay. So Frankie0414 says, do you need to learn how to fight in the gym again, or will you start with all the special techniques by default?
No, so you'll have to unlock. You'll start with a subset of the full combat maneuver set. You'll then unlock them by upgrading your XP levels and unlocking those moves.
Yeah.
And then you'll also spend upgrades to improve some of those moves as well.
Okay.
It looks like we now have enough money to upgrade our safe house.
Okay.
So you want to go to the raid, or?
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah.
So Takahanzo asks, will karaoke be returning in the game? Because we all know how much how much everyone enjoys some good karaoke.
We don't have karaoke in the game right now, but that is definitely something we're looking at adding back at some point.
Yeah. Well, first off, we need to get some karaoke in the office, I think.
Yeah, we've done that in the past. It's not pretty, let me tell you. Yeah.
Especially because it makes it into the game.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I think the first round of karaoke we ever did on Sleeping Dogs was actually all of the team had gone out and gotten drunk and sang songs. We put those in, but thank goodness that is not what was in there when we shipped the game.
You would have a different opinion about that game.
Maybe that could be a DLC. People pay never to listen to it.
Yeah.
So, quick message to Hello Flush, and I'm only going to read that part of your name. Yes, you are going to get a beta key for one of the questions that we used. So thank you for asking that.
Raul's just upgraded his safe house level 2, and that's allowed him to build another racket. So he now has a counterfeiting currency racket, and he's built up a hacker's racket. So he's going to be able to use the money that he makes from the counterfeiting currency and that he uses from raiding other players, and he's going to be able to use that to produce stolen designs through his hacker's racket.
As you can see, I don't have enough money to produce this, so I'm going to go raid somebody to get some.
Yeah.
So let's take a look.
So since Raul is, since he's attacked the operations for, I can't remember the name of the rival, but it makes most sense. It makes most sense for him to attack that rival. He doesn't have to. He can choose to attack any of the rivals loaded in the world right now, but it would be best for him to attack that rival.
We also just got the tutorial for our jobs. This is a feature that allows us to create different objectives for players. As you can see here, one of our objectives is to build a large racket. And as soon as we build a large racket, we're going to get an extra reward of 1,000 phase.
Okay.
We can always change jobs to see if we want to. Let's see here. Let's change this one. See if we get something new. There you go. Let's get our safe house to level 3. And all these are active as soon as they get into the screen. So as I'm doing different things in the game, we're going to start getting rewards. Like, for example, this is a finish a raid job, so I'm going to try to do that now.
Okay.
Steal a car now. One of those in the back.
He's over behind.
Oh, a minibus.
Antinan asks, is the game going to be playable on Steam, or are we a standalone?
We are standalone. This is not on Steam.
And Zanuda Gaming says, is it possible to steal other people's equipment or items? I guess during a raid,
So,
yes.
Well, during a raid, any commodities that players have stored inside of their rackets, players can take.
Okay.
As far as like weapons go, you can take any weapon that a rival has unlocked during a raid. So say for example, their enforcer or one of their gang members is using a machine gun, then you can strip that machine gun off of the player. Are you stuck?
I'm stuck.
I can do this.
Just get back in the vehicle.
I can do this.
And here's the beauty of live streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's.
This is Raul's lack of loadout moment.
Yeah.
Are you going to
destroy?
Yeah, you can try and take.
You might have to blow yourself up.
So okay.
For the vehicle.
So what happens when you do die then? I guess we're going to find out, but let's give us a preview.
Well, just want to finish answering that question. So you can take any weapon off of a defender that you encounter, but you can only hold that weapon as long as you are alive and logged into your game for that session. So if you want any of those items, you're going to need to unlock them or earn them yourself.
Oh my god, I'm on fire.
That's a surprise, you died.
Oh boy.
Okay, so you're in a medical clinic.
Lost a little bit of face for that.
I'm not surprised. You lost some face in the office.
Yeah.
Let's keep listening to this.
Believe it or not, Raul actually plays the game every day. But,
yeah.
You know.
We did tell him to, can you not be quite as good this time round? Luckily, he's very good at being not quite as good. So, Civic123 asks, how easy will it be to get money in the game? Let's say if you raided all your rivals, is there a way to get money another way?
So, once you've raided everybody on the map, you can choose to just wait for those turf locations to respawn new enemies and new rivals, and you can continue to raid. Obviously, doing operations will give you commodities. In the case of rackets that produce money, you'll be able to earn money that way.
Yeah.
And then we also have the black market. So anything that you build in your own turf and anything that you take from other rivals, you can hawk your wares on the black market and earn money that way. There you go. Yeah. So you got the action dismount that time.
Oh, that guy ran away. What? See what happens when you upgrade your defenders.
So yeah, just a quick reminder to everybody who's won a beta invite today. Keep an eye on your Twitch private messages, because I'm going to be sending everybody some instructions on how to install the game and the beta key that you will need to install the game. That will be done this afternoon, so like I say, by the end of the day you'll be able to download the game and play for a couple more days before we take the closed beta down. And we are planning the next one. The next one is going to be pretty soon. We'll probably announce the date on the website next week. So look forward to that. And also on December 18th, we will be doing our special edition Christmas stream. So one of us is going to be wearing a costume of some kind.
That's news. All right. That's good. All right.
Maybe all of us.
Yeah, know? Maybe all of us.
So yeah, we're looking forward to the Christmas one.
Solidarity.
Again, we'll be asking lots of questions.
So you can see Raul just started raiding Murray, and he got an extra minute and a half, I think, because he completed the operations ahead of time. So hopefully that's enough time for Raul to finish this raid successfully.
Yeah. So we're coming close to the end, so we're going to finish this raid. But just a quick reminder to everybody who is in the closed beta already. Again, please take 5 minutes to do the survey. It's so important to these guys to know what everyone thinks about the game. And the forums will be a great place to ask questions about the game in between Twitch streams. We go on there. I go on there pretty much every hour, and when we're introducing more and more of the game team onto there to help with everyone's questions.
See if Raul can take this last guy out. Or 2 guys. There we go. Oh. 2 in 1 shot.
I need to do that.
So what happened if, say for example, you wanted to well, we can use the example. We're going to be ending the stream in a few minutes. Do you have to finish this raid and take out the enforcer?
No, so yeah, well, Raul, it's up to Raul. He can choose to raid as many rackets as he wants, or if he wanted to, he could go straight now and bypass any additional rackets and raid, fight the enforcer, so actually fight the rival.
Let's get to that now.
Or he can choose to take off with his goods and take whatever he's earned so far.
Yeah.
If Raul were to die at any point, or the timer were to run out and the cops showed up, he would lose everything he's earned so far, and he would also lose face, and Murray would earn the face that Raul lost.
Okay.
If Raul were to leave early, he would still take face and everything he's acquired so far from Murray, but he hasn't reached his potential, his max potential. So the ideal, if you can do it, is to raid every single racket within the turf and defeat the rival enforcer.
Okay. So someone was asking earlier, this is a new environment, isn't it, specific to Triad?
Yeah, everything inside of this turf is all brand new. The spaces, a lot of the combat props and other props that we use is all new stuff. Yeah.
All right. Jack Sony, the beta will not be running this weekend. It closes at 2 p.m. on Friday, and there's another one coming up pretty soon.
Yes, and there's going to be more to see and play in the next beta. So if you did play the last beta, please join us again, because it's going to have more content in it.
And a significantly increased number of beta invites will be sent out.
Yes.
Let's say that, but so hopefully we won't have anyone unhappy that they haven't got an invite.
Now he's getting headshots.
Yeah. Someone, you're hungry.
Saving face.
Yeah, exactly. Well, last week when we were doing this, it was you were losing face.
All right, so Raul's going to face Murray one-on-one here, and he's got 3.5 minutes to get the job done. That so, should be more than enough time.
So saves do get reset between betas, don't they?
Yeah. So if you play in the last beta, we're going to be resetting the servers, and you'll be starting from scratch. We've done a bunch of tuning and added a bunch of new things. So
yeah. So save files would just be too different to kind of keep it going.
Yeah.
And yeah, another question that's just been asked. The beta is only open during certain periods at the moment. So it's basically so we can focus all our testing on that point.
I believe our next beta is going to be open, and we're just going to let her run though.
Right.
So Rose also unlocked the combat meter now, which he could use in this fight against Murray, but he didn't need it.
So yeah, no. If you're in the beta already, you will be in the next beta. We're not booting people. Once you're in, you're in. Once you've registered for the beta, you don't need to do anything else. And we're picking out the people who get the invites based on certain criteria. For the very first beta, it was so small we wanted to get people that were relatively local to the network. So it was just Canada and the US. For this current one, we've extended it to Europe, and we'll see what we'll be doing with the next one.
Yeah. Rose got a few. He's got a knife sticking through his chest, which isn't quite a healthy thing. But
nice little gun.
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of things we need to fix up for the beta.
Yeah. So you won't see those in the next one. So
I hope.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered what we wanted to talk about today. Next time we want to talk about a little bit more of the customization and go into favors. So we'll be touching on that stuff and showing off the latest beta build as well.
And so yeah, just again, quick reminder, please do the survey if we've sent the email to you. It's essential. If you've had your question asked today, I will be getting in touch this afternoon with the beta key and instructions. If I haven't got in touch with you and you're starting to panic, don't worry, I will be getting in touch. But the email address you can reach me at is community@triadwars.com. So, but the beta keys will be sent via Twitch. So I believe that's everything. Just again, I'm not going to make the same mistake. Thanks to Sam for all your great work.
Wait, there's one more question I really like on there, which is, are we going to have female characters in the future? How awesome would it be to run around as Mrs. Chu and dole out the harshness?
The younger Mrs. Chu.
Yeah.
And that's something we'll look into, and we'll get back to in the next stream.
Yeah, right. We want to. Yes, we want to.
Great. Excellent. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. It's been great fun, and we've loved all the questions. It's been really entertaining.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.